How's it going, YouTube? My name is Ari and welcome to Blue Lion Finance, a channel, as many of you already probably know, dedicated to investing in my personal journey to amassing $100,000 with my Vanguard brokerage account. It's been a personal journey of mine here on YouTube, and now I get the opportunity to take this moment in sharing with you that we have officially crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark.
Say what?
And that is the biggest possible news on the day for me to share with all of you. And it really takes me back to day one when I threw up my first video onto YouTube. I had one mission in mind, and that mission was pretty simple. It was help one investor per day, per video, make wiser investment decisions for their own personal portfolios.
Help me help you.
Now, if I've been able to do that, amazing. And if I haven't done so just yet, I hope I can earn your trust enough to stick around video to video as I keep producing them, keep pumping them out there. It really all comes down to a debt of gratitude that I owe all of you, because truly without all of you, there is no me. And I've learned that through the thick and thin of building out this channel. It truly takes consistency and patience, and that's exactly the parallel that I want to draw between building anything at all and investing. Now, if you're able to stick to just consistency and patience and keep at it, Rome was not built in a day, but what eventually Rome was built. And now here we are with 1,000 plus subscribers. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart, whether you've liked the videos, you've shared them with friends, you've subscribed to the channel, whatever may have you, even if you're just joining me for your very first Blue Lion Finance episode. Thank you. Now that brings me right into today's video, in which, given all of the market momentum, we are certainly just building upon more and more momentum to new record highs here. My account is yet again up, this time by $974.42. That is bringing my account to a brand new record high, this time sitting at $83,863.96. I do foresee volatility in the weeks ahead. Of course, the Federal Reserve officially announced that they're going to begin tapering come the end of the month. And with that, I foresee some volatility. But of course, we got to watch out for what the Federal Reserve is going to be doing about rate hikes. And you also have to keep in mind that inflation is real, folks. And so just be cautious. But of course, stay the course in finding high quality value investments to make for the long run, because again, let's go back to that Rome wasn't built in a day analogy. You will ultimately make out if you're investing in high quality investments, and that is exactly what today's video is going to be all about. 3 rock solid dividend investments that you can get into today. I find them to be undervalued, so perhaps they will make do for your personal portfolios. Now, most importantly is because we've crossed over that 1,000 subscriber mark, the gift card giveaway of One Hope Wines is no longer running, but I will be announcing the winner of that giveaway in the next video, so make sure you stay tuned for that video for the winner of that giveaway. Now, YouTube, before we dive in today, go ahead, tap on that thumbs up button, and of course, join me on this journey if you haven't already by tapping on that subscribe button. With all that out of the way, YouTube, let's go ahead and dive right in. So right off the bat, I want to share with all of you that 2 out of 3 of these companies are most likely companies you've heard of. You've definitely heard of these companies on the Blue Lion Finance channel. And I'm starting the video off like this because it's important for you to note that investing, again, is not all about finding the newest, hottest, sexiest companies to invest in. Sometimes it literally just comes down to doing the boring old investing in what works. And those investments, to me, are high quality investments that are going to deliver throughout the longer term future. And I just have to kick back, relax, and collect on dividends along the way, which is personally how I like to invest anyhow, the value investment strategy. So with that being said, I want to bring us to our very first stock opportunity of the day, that being from Amgen, ticker symbol AMGN. Now, Amgen was founded back in 1980. It is an American multinational biopharmaceutical company that has truly been revolutionizing the industry since their founding. They have become one of the world's most dominant players in their space, with a presence in approximately 100 countries worldwide. And with that, they are treating serious illnesses and specifically like to focus in on diseases that have very limited treatment options, which means that this type of company is something that the world needs. And not only that, it makes it a perfect investment for an investment portfolio because I don't see it disappearing anytime soon. And of course, those are the investments that are ultimately going to make out for all of us and our longer term futures. Now, in more recent news when it comes to their stock share price, Amgen actually took a massive beating throughout 2020 and even up to the present day. Now, I think they've taken this beating because they never entered the vaccine race, and you had a lot of these large biotech, biopharmaceutical companies entering that race, shifting their focus. Amgen just decided to stay the course, and a lot of investors pulled out of Amgen to invest in the companies that were entering that vaccine race. So their stock ultimately fell from a high of $260 down to $213. That's about a 22% dip. However, that's a very ripe opportunity for all of us to pick up these shares of Amgen while they're currently on sale. Now, their longer term growth prospects certainly did not disappear whatsoever. They have a very strong future ahead of them, and they have 20 revenue generating drugs that are just an absolute necessity for the patients who require those drugs. So just taking a look at some of their metrics, going back to 2018, we can see that Amgen brought in $8.39 billion. In 2019, they brought in $7.84 billion. And as I mentioned, because they did not enter that vaccine race, 2020 stayed relatively the same there, coming in at $7.26 billion. Now, analysts only are projecting that Amgen is just going to continue to rebound and continue to grow. They're coming in at a median stock share price of $232.52 and coming in at a high stock share price of $298 per share. And as mentioned, Amgen is a dividend player. So we have Amgen with a current dividend yield sitting at 3.23%, which is right in the sweet spot of a dividend investment that I like to make. And of course, with Amgen paying out dividends since 2011 and growing them year over year, they're well on their way to establishing themselves as a dividend aristocrat. Moving right along to our second stock opportunity, we have Lockheed Martin, ticker symbol LMT. Lockheed Martin is a company that I relatively recently spoke about in one of my videos, sharing how I sold out of my position with Boeing and picked up shares of Lockheed Martin. Now, Boeing was not a dividend investment, and of course, Lockheed Martin is, which is a primary reason why I did it. But more importantly, it's an American aerospace, arms, defense, and information security technology company that was established in 1995. And since their establishment, they have quickly become a dominant player within the defense industry space. And most importantly, is they have worldwide interests securing a lot of defense contracts. Matter of fact, most recently, they just secured 2 contracts with the US Defense Department. The first one being for the US Navy at $105.7 million. And the next contract they secured rather recently was coming in for the Air Force at $10.8 billion. Now, as you probably know, these government contracts last for years and years, which is going to deliver through on a lot of reliability and investing in a company like Lockheed Martin. And as of recently, their stock share price took a hit, falling from $374 per share down to around $339 per share. That's about a 10% dip. Now, as investors, we got to ask ourselves what exactly happened, and not a whole lot metric-wise happened when it comes to Lockheed Martin, but they missed analyst expectations, and that certainly alarmed a lot of investors. They pulled their money out, which further drove down that stock share price. And now, again, this is just a ripe opportunity for investors to pick up a rock-solid dividend player and just hold on to for the long run, because if we take a look at Lockheed Martin's metrics, we can go back to 2018 and see they brought in $5.05 billion. In 2019, they grew, $6.23 billion was brought in, and in 2020, $6.83 billion. So across the board, just very healthy growth metrics. Now, what do really they have in store for us in the future? They have various programs ramping up well into 2023, so that's certainly going to help drive their stock share price back up. Most importantly is the recent acquisition of theirs, or a recent planned acquisition of theirs, of Aerojet Rocketdyne. So that's certainly just going to, again, help their stock share price recover. Now, they do have share buybacks planned for the future and a dividend growth that may be ahead of us. So analysts are only projecting that Lockheed Martin is going to continue to grow tomorrow, coming in at a median stock share price of $378.50 and a high stock share price of $450 per share. Now, as a dividend investor, that is what we're here for. That dividend of Lockheed Martin's coming in at a dividend yield of 3.14%, another solid dividend yield, and they've been paying those dividends out for 18 consecutive years, increasing them year over year. So certainly making Lockheed Martin soon to be a dividend aristocrat. And last but certainly not least, I'm gonna harp on this company yet again because I've been talking about it in a lot of my recent videos. It's a company that has been revolutionizing the entire healthcare industry, 130-year rich history, paying dividends out for 59 consecutive years, increasing those dividends year over year. This company is Johnson & Johnson, ticker symbol J&J. Now, they've been revolutionizing the industry through three segments specifically, those segments being medical devices, pharmaceuticals, and consumer goods. The breakdown of those segments in terms of revenue generation is 40% coming in from pharmaceuticals, another 40% coming in from medical devices, and 20% coming in from consumer goods. As I've shared about in other videos of mine, right now government is talking about regulation in terms of drug prices. So Johnson & Johnson's largest revenue stream here, about 40% of that revenue coming in from pharmaceuticals, obviously then took a hit, which means their stock share price dropped. As of recently, they were at a high of $180 per share, but fell to around $163 per share. It's about a 10% dip, an opportunity for us to jump in, picking up shares of Johnson & Johnson to just hold on to for the long run. Never really have to bat an eye, lose a minute of sleep, or break a sweat, because Johnson & Johnson is just going to continue to be the industry leader in the healthcare space. That is my personal opinion on Johnson & Johnson, but analysts out there certainly agree, coming in at a median stock share price of $187 per share and a high stock share price of $215 per share. Now, as that dividend king, they have a current dividend yield that sits at 2.57%. And as a dividend investor, I'm going to enjoy the heck out of this dividend king, throwing more and more money into Johnson & Johnson. Just kick back, relax, and collect on all of the dividends, as well as the value of the actual stock growing over time. Now, that is it, YouTube. From Amgen to Lockheed Martin and Johnson & Johnson, the three undervalued dividend plays that I am selecting to start off the week. Now, YouTube, if you liked what you heard, you learned something new, please drop those comments below. Let me know. I'd love to read through them. And of course, if you haven't already, tap on that thumbs up button. It helps me grow the Blue Lion Finance channel. If you haven't joined me on the journey, tap on that subscribe button. I'd love to have you along the ride with me. And until the next video, YouTube, I will see you all